The incredibly popular Netflix series The Witcher will be getting a spin-off coming to the streaming platform this Christmas. The fantasy series will be receiving a live-action spin-off called The Witcher Blood Origins, set to be released on December 25th, 2022. Netflix is undoubtedly one of the biggest streaming companies in the world and is largely responsible for streaming becoming our main mode of viewing television and movies. Over the past decade, Netflix has produced some of the biggest movies and television series of the 21st century. From Orange is the New Black to Squid Game and everything in between, Netflix has had unparalleled success with their original series. Their show The Witcher is no exception. Beginning in 2019, the fantasy series starring Henry Cavill has gone on to be one of the streaming platform's most well-loved shows. It has received 2 seasons so far, with a third currently in production. The show's dedicated fan base is why it has received not one, but 2 prequel spin-offs. The first of these was an animated film that came out on Netflix a while back in July 2020. This was called The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. The second of these was teased in a post-credits scene at the end of Season 2 of The Witcher. It is titled The Witcher Blood Origins and is slated to be released on December 25th, 2022. While the Netflix show has reached immense levels of popularity, The Witcher has been around for much longer than the show's launch in 2019. The series is based on a fantasy book series of the same name by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. The series contains 5 main novels, as well as 2 short story collections and an additional side novel. The books were written between 1986 and 2013 and became incredibly popular in Poland as they were being released. The books only saw an English translation in 2007, over 20 years after the first book was released. The series is set on the continent and is the story of a witcher named Geralt of Rivia, played by Henry Cavill in the series. Witchers are essentially monster hunters with supernatural powers. The books have sold over 37 million copies combined worldwide as of December 2019. The Witcher series is much more than just a series of books and TV shows. Many people probably know this series of video games with the same names without even being aware they were based on a series of books. The Witcher video games act as sequels to the novels, continuing the story of Geralt of Rivia. There are 3 games in the series, which were released between 2007 and 2015. There is currently a 4th game in the stages of early production, which is reportedly going to be the start of a new trilogy. The Witcher is a very unique franchise for this reason. There aren't many book series whose story was continued through video games, which then ended up being adapted as a TV series. It is an expansive fantasy world with a truly dedicated fan base. If you've read all the books, played all the games, and watched every episode of the show, then you have plenty to look forward to as a fan of the series. There is not only a new game coming out somewhere down the line, but a live-action prequel to the show as well. This show will be called The Witcher Blood Origins and is set to be released on Christmas Day later this year. The show is said to be set 1200 years before the events of the Witcher series and will explore both the creation of the very first Witcher and the inevitable fallout of this major event. It appears that the creation of the first Witcher is what led to the conjuration of spheres, an event where worlds collided, causing humans and monsters to both be introduced to the continent. The show will dive much deeper into the concepts of the monoliths, which were referred to as remnants of the conjuration of spheres in the last season of The Witcher. At Netflix Tudum event, Witcher showrunner Declan de Barra explained a little bit about what fans can expect to learn about the monoliths in Blood Origins. Check out what he had to say. We learn the origin of the monoliths here, who first made these monoliths, why, and then we kind of understand how they became so important in the world of The Witcher later, and the power that was bestowed upon them, and how that came about. They're the catalyst for a lot of what goes wrong in this world. In Season 2 of The Witcher, the monoliths were introduced and explained slightly, but their true importance has yet to be explored. Because of them being remnants of the conjuration of spheres, it seems these giant pillars have powers that allow them to act as passages between the various realms of the Witcher universe. The monoliths made their first appearance at the very start of the show when Ciri Scream was able to knock over a monolith. It is because of Ciri's relationship with these monoliths that she was recruited in Season 2 by Volith Mar, the Deathless Mother, and the Wild Hunt. It also seems that this relationship is tied to her role as the Daughter of Chaos. Fans can hope to learn more about this relationship and the roles these monoliths play when Blood Origins is released on Netflix in December. Interestingly enough, The monoliths are not mentioned throughout all of Spakowski's writing. The figures were put in the show after writers were inspired by their use in the video games. With that being said, it seems much more importance will be placed on these monoliths in the show than was ever placed on them in the video games. While fans of the source material may not be happy about writers altering Sapkowski's universe, it is pretty cool to see the world he created almost 40 years ago continue to grow and expand. The Witcher is far from the only fantasy franchise to be getting a prequel series this year. Both Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, arguably the two most popular series in the genre, both got prequel series this year. The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, recently debuted on Amazon Prime, while Game of Thrones prequel, House of Dragons, has been released on HBO. It is unclear how much Blood Origins cost Netflix to produce, but if it's anything like the new Lord of the Rings series, it wasn't cheap. The first season alone cost Amazon $462 million to produce, and before it's all said and done, the show's budget is expected to reach over $1 billion. The show seems set to easily become the most expensive series ever created. While it is unlikely a smaller franchise like The Witcher would have a budget anywhere near this, the show appears to look amazing, and its production value still seems incredibly high. The new series will have its own cast largely unrelated to that of The Witcher main series, which makes sense considering it's set a millennium in the past. The series will feature Dylan Moran, Nathaniel Curtis, Miriam Mack, Lenny Henry, Lawrence O'Farian, and Sophia Brown. It appears that it will focus largely on the character of Everything Everywhere All at Once star Michelle Yeoh. The Malaysian actress is also known for her roles in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and more recently, Crazy Rich Asians. Everything Everywhere is a recent A24 film directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, collectively known as the Daniels. Michelle Yeoh had a standout performance in the film, playing Evelyn Kwan, a hard-working Chinese-American woman caught in the middle of an interdimensional rupture. She will be playing the character of Skian in Blood Origins, the last remaining member of a tribe of nomadic elves skilled in swordsmanship. The show will focus on her quest to retrieve a sword stolen from her tribe. It appears Yeoh will be able to utilize the sword fighting skills she learned while filming Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in this new role. The Witcher Blood Origins will be released on Christmas Day alongside several other Netflix exclusives. The streaming service will also be releasing Matilda, the musical, on the 25th, and Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, on the 23rd. It will be interesting to see if Blood Origins will get a strong initial viewership based on all the strong streaming competition, and with people's busy schedule over the holiday season. Fans may be wondering why Netflix would choose to release so much content at such a busy time, but Christmas is historically a great time for companies to release their content. Families often spend a lot of time together, and when they're not busy, they usually turn to the TV or movie theater to find something to watch. Titles like Spider-Man No Way Home, Les Miserables, Django Unchained, and Sherlock Holmes all grossed huge box office numbers despite being released in and around Christmas. On Netflix alone, the Oscar-nominated Don't Look Up was released on Christmas Eve last year, and in fact, the first season of The Witcher was released on December 20th, 2019 as well. Although it may seem counterintuitive, the holidays might actually give Blood Origins a bigger audience than it would have had otherwise, and potentially bring more eyes back to the original series as well. Are you a fan of the Witcher series? Have you read the books, played the games, and watched the show? Are you looking forward to watching Blood Origins? Let us know your thoughts on everything Witcher related down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.